Hi, it's Mandy, the author of the Rise of Riverstone, the historical fantasy novel that is available in paperback, Kindle, and now hardcover. I was going to do another cooking segment today, but I ended up having to special order a few ingredients. So today we're going to do an arts and crafts. I'm going to show you how I put together my gift boxes. One thing in particular I really like to do is aged paper envelopes where I have all the swag. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So I have my 9x9 piece of paper, and I start by folding it over, but not all the way because I don't want a line down the middle of the paper. I just basically do it enough so that I have a point that shows kind of where the middle is. And then I take one side and fold it over. And then I meet it with the other side. It's going to be the sides of the envelope, and then I'm going to come up from the top and then do the same thing on the other side. I want some good overlap because this is where I'm going to seal the end of it. So once I have my envelope, I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to age it. We start with instant coffee. Get the cheapest kind that you possibly can because you're going to be wasting all of it because you're not going to want to drink it after we do what we're about to do. Boil down some water. I've got my instant coffee. I'm going to make a nice, delicious cup of cheap Joe here. Next, I'm going to take that delicious piece of Joe and I'm going to pour it on my paper that I have here. It's in a sheet pan, and you dump all of it in there. It's hot, by the way. That's okay. And flip it. All right, and you're gonna let this guy sit for like 5 to 10 minutes. Obviously, the longer that you let it sit, the richer the color is gonna be. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven to 250. And then, of course, I'm gonna check the oven to make sure that there's not like a cat in there while that's preheating. Yeah, no cats. Okay, just right there. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little less, and I have poured off all of the coffee, and I'm just gonna dab up some of the excess. We don't want it to be too wet for the next portion of events. This is where you're gonna get that really cool speckled looking design that you see so much on old paper. You're gonna take some of that instant coffee and just like, you know, sprinkling around. I like to make it kind of look as random as possible. Obviously, it looks a little bit more authentic that way. But like I'll sprinkle a little bit around and then I'll hit like the corners and a couple of other spots with a little bit more. The heavier that you go, the more intense that the color is going to be. And then this is going to set again for another like 5-10 minutes. But you basically want the granules to kind of dissolve into the paper. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little more. You can kind of see on there the swirlies that are happening. So now I'm going to just dab up again any excess. And then I'm going to put that in my preheated oven for 10 minutes to start. You just want to keep a close eye on it so you don't burn the paper that you're trying to make look burned. So I start with 10 minutes, and then if it's still a little bit too damp, then I'll just go another 5. Okay. Dinner's ready. So now it's beautiful. It's going to be the inside, so it's okay if it's not as fancy. But that's the outside that people are going to see. Okay, this is my favorite part of this whole process because this is the part where I get to actually make it a beautiful envelope. Let's just get some mood lighting in here. So now I'm going to fold this up. Now this is my favorite part. This is the part where we get to seal this. This is a wax seal that I had custom made. The designer who made my cover also designed the seal part of this, and then I had it made on Etsy. So I have a piece of parchment And I'm going to have this down on the parchment because I don't actually want to seal this together with the wax. And I'm going to actually have ribbon tied around it to, you know, keep the actual letter closed. Okay, so use some colors here that have to do with my series, and I'm going to let that melt down. So once the wax is all melty, pour it over here. A good tip for when you're doing the wax seals, if you make sure your seal is nice and cool, it'll just come right out. Okay, once this is nice and dry, it just comes right off that parchment. But then I have a little marker that I like to fill, kind of highlight the little accents on the stamp, and then they kind of pop a little bit more. And then this is what I'm going to be putting in my swag. So a nice map. Usually I have like a handwritten message with a little picture on the back, a bookmark, sticker, and a signed book plate. And that is the finished product in every single gift box that is ordered from riverstonesaga.com. This is a custom gift box that paperback copies of the Rise of Riverstone will come in, and pretty soon there will also be hardback copies available. And I can absolutely sign those copies for you for fur. Some people don't want their books signed on the actual books, so that's why I provide the book plates as well. Thank you so much for being here. Please join us next time.